Known as the Gateway to the North, Edmonton is the northernmost large city on the entire continent, making it a very interesting city to me. I recently made a video about its rival Alberta city of Calgary, and the comment section of that video is full of requests asking that I cover Edmonton. In this series, I briefly cover a city's history, population, skyline, as well as a few things that make the city unique. Now, let's meet Edmonton. I always like to start by exploring how a city wound up being where it is today. Edmonton is located along the North Saskatchewan River, around 300 kilometers north of Calgary. The area has been inhabited for thousands of years by First Nation groups, but the municipal city's history started with competing trading posts during the historic fur trade. The competing companies, the Northwest Company and the Hudson Bay Company, both built forts along the river, one of which was named Fort Edmonton. The companies eventually merged in 1821, and Fort Edmonton became the main distribution center for the fur trade. In the early 20th century, the railroad finally reached the settlement, and then in 1906, Edmonton was selected as the capital of the province of Alberta, in part because of its geographic location at the center of the province. This, along with the discovery of petroleum a few decades later, led to significant growth and the city being recognized as the oil capital of Canada. Today, Edmonton has a metro population of 1,418,000, making it the sixth largest metro in Canada behind its rival city of Calgary and ahead of Quebec City. If comparing to American cities, this would make Edmonton roughly the same size as Oklahoma City in terms of metro population. As I mentioned earlier, Edmonton is the northernmost city on the continent with a population of over 1 million people. As the oil capital of Canada, the city's economy has historically been largely tied to oil and gas, although recently it's become a research and technology center. Edmonton has 8 universities, including the University of Alberta, which is ranked as one of the top universities in all of Canada. Call me shallow, but when it comes to cities, I think appearances matter, which is why evaluating a city's skyline is my favorite part of making these videos. Although I don't like it quite as much as Calgary's skyline, Edmonton does have a great-looking skyline. The Stantec Tower was completed in 2019 and is the tallest building in the country outside of Toronto at 250 meters. It significantly improves the look of the skyline in my opinion. If you took the average height of the tallest 5 skyscrapers in the city, Edmonton would have the 4th tallest skyline in Canada, behind Montreal and ahead of Vancouver. If comparing to American cities, Edmonton would be the 23rd tallest skyline, falling between New Orleans and Tulsa. One interesting fact about the skyline is that it's home to the first CN Tower, which was built in 1966 and was the tallest building in Western Canada for 5 years. Its younger sibling is the world-famous CN Tower in Toronto, which was built by the same company a decade later. Just across the river from the downtown is one of the defining landmarks of Edmonton, the Muttart Conservatory. Most major metros have a conservatory, so it's not normally something I mention in this section, but the architecture of Edmonton's conservatory is unlike any conservatory I'm aware of. The conservatory, which is one of the largest in Canada, is housed within 4 pyramids that each have a different themed garden with plants from different parts of the world. And while on the topic of unique architecture, I have to mention the Art Gallery of Alberta. It's without a doubt one of the most eye-catching buildings in the city. The design of the building is meant to represent the northern lights with its curved ribbons. I love the architecture, especially considering that Edmonton is located north enough for the northern lights to appear about 90 days out of the year. A block away from the Art Gallery of Alberta is the Royal Alberta Museum, which is the largest museum in Western Canada at nearly 39,000 square meters. Edmonton also has Canada's largest living history museum, which is known as Fort Edmonton Park. Spanning 158 acres, this park recreates different historical periods in Edmonton's history. Now, perhaps the thing that Edmonton is most famous for, though, is its massive shopping mall. The West Edmonton Mall is the largest shopping mall in all of North America in terms of number of stores, with over 800. Now, on top of just being huge, the West Edmonton Mall does have several unique attractions, including the world's largest indoor lake, which used to have submarines that you could take a ride in. There is also a massive indoor water park. The indoor water park, known as World Water Park, has the world's largest indoor wave pool, as well as the world's tallest indoor bungee tower, although it's no longer in use. The mall also has several themed areas, such as an area inspired after New Orleans, as well as sections themed after Europe and Asia. The mall also has an ice rink known as the Ice Palace. It's fitting to have an ice rink in the mall because hockey is a big part of the culture in Edmonton. The Edmonton Oilers NHL team plays in the Rogers Place Arena, which is located downtown near the Royal Alberta Museum. The Great One, Wayne Gretzky, was one of the Oilers during the 80s, and they won 5 Stanley Cups between 1984 and 1990. This hockey dynasty helped contribute to the nickname of City of Champions for the city. Another nickname of Edmonton is City of Festivals because the city hosts over 50 festivals each year. Edmonton has the largest connected piece of urban parkland in North America, known as North Saskatchewan River Valley. One of the ways to access the park from the downtown is through the glass incline elevator known as the 100th Street Funicular. Lastly, there's a small national park near Edmonton known as Elk Island National Park. Although it's small, it's the largest enclosed national park in Canada. It's home to the densest population of hoofed animals in Canada, with bison, moose, elk, and deer calling the park home. Well, that wraps up my video about Edmonton. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and check out some of my other videos about cities. And if you have a city you'd like to see an overview on, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.